radio for the masses.
Headline edition, July 8, 1947. The Army Air Forces has announced that a flying disc has been found and is now in the possession of the Army.
If the game is rigged, change the game. Game changer.
I occasionally think how quickly our differences worldwide would vanish if we were facing an alien threat from outside this world.
This is Fade to Black with your host, Jimmy Church, on the Game Changer Radio Network.
All right, welcome. How you doing, Fade to Black? What's going on, everybody? Today is Tuesday, January 13th, 2026. Can you hear me tapping on my console? Yeah, like that means something. I have no idea. Let's do this, man. Yeah. This week on Fade to Black, last night, the one and only Timothy Alberino was here. What an amazing conversation. He is the absolute best. Tonight, Zenka Caro joins us. We're going to be talking about ET all night tonight, front and back, top to bottom, to and fro, back and forth, hither and thither, far and near. Tomorrow night, Marissa Greco joins us, Hidden Energy Codes. Thursday night, Leanne Harrison is here. And she's a conscious consultant. Yeah, so that's Thursday night's show. There you go. Great week on Fade to Black. It's always great around here. My next event coming up is the Conscious Life Expo. That is February 20th through the 23rd, 2026 at the LAX Hilton. I've been hosting this event for 12 years, 10 years, 12 years. It's probably 11. Largest conference of its kind in the world, 25,000 attendees. It is absolutely amazing. Come and hang out with us. It is at the LAX Hilton. The links for everything are below. I've got a full slate of conferences and events and travel that are going on all through 2026. I have 2 trips per month going through the end of November. Yeah, it's a pretty crazy schedule. I'm worried about Harley time. I'm worried about Harley Davidson time. Yeah, tonight, Zenka Caro's with us. I have 2 announcements I'm going to make. All right, the first one is my Harley's in the shop. That's right. Nothing wrong with it. Oh, no. I'm having the engine rebuilt. Exhaust, cam, tuner, and a bunch of other things. Oh, man. So, and it's going to be done in a few days. And here in Southern California, it's sunny and warm. I know it's probably cold where you are at, and it's been cold and rainy out here for 4 to 6 weeks. It's going to be high 60s, low 70s through Sunday. Today's Tuesday. I think I'll get my bike back Thursday, probably Friday, if I had a crystal ball here. But just in time to take that thing out. I'm going to post some videos. It's going to be insane. I've got a 2-in-1 racing exhaust going on this thing. That's what boys do. That's what boys do, man. You got to have the biggest, the baddest, the fastest, the loudest, and that Harley Davidson crowd, that's a tough crowd, man. You've got to bring your best and brightest. Okay, so anyway, enough of that. And the reason why I bring that up is today I stopped by the Harley dealer just to check on parts that were delayed in coming in. And they all came in. I was like, okay, so I left my bike and I Ubered home. And it's just on my mind right now. So that's why I brought that up. It's not that big of a deal. It's not an ego thing at all, man. It's an excitement thing. It's what boys do. Okay. So, but here's the crazy part. I'm going to talk to Zenka about this when she comes on. I posted on social media what I found in my studio this morning. And I talk a lot about my cleanliness and how I'm organized and I'm over the top with it. It is a disorder. I should get into some kind of 12-step program about this, but I'm a lover of Windex and vacuum cleaners, man. This place is spotless and everything's in its place. And this studio where I live, most of the time. It's heaven in here. Everything is just right? It's just perfect. So this morning, 8 a.m., I made my coffee and I walk into my studio. And right here, I'm going to point. You can see in the pictures, those two guitars are in the picture. Right in front of these two guitars is a pile of papers and a folder and some plastic wrap and up against the white guitar, like up and just strewn about on the floor. I don't even know where they came from, by the way. I guess, okay, so anyway, I don't know if you can see it if I change cameras. Okay, see that right there? See the microphone stand that's sitting on the papers underneath that microphone stand were all on the floor in a big pile. That's what was holding them down, is that microphone stand that is sitting there. And I looked up and I see the microphone stand still sitting there on the table, but everything underneath it was on the floor. Now, I didn't freak out. I did take a picture of it. I stepped back and I went, okay, all right. Just as things were starting to slow down around here, I walk in and get that in the morning. So I did the post. If you want to see the picture, go over to my social media. It's there. I think it's on Facebook. Go and look at the picture. Now you can see, my studio, but now you can see. And I had a smile on my face. What's the alternative? I freak out, yeah. So I have a ghost or something is going on here. I call it a ghost. I don't know what's causing stuff like this to move around, but it was pretty bizarre because that microphone stand is heavy and it's holding everything down, and the folder is heavy. The plastic wrap thing is heavy. It's not thin. It's thick plastic. It's like a folder with a snap on it. And how does it jump out from underneath that microphone stand? The microphone stand is a paperweight. It was crazy. It was pretty nuts. It was pretty nuts. I wish I would have had somebody here to come in and go, It was crazy. It was crazy. All right. So there you go. That was my morning coffee. And I posted it up, and now and now that I've backed up and looked at it again with all of you in real time, it's even more confusing to me. Yeah. Oh, wouldn't you have loved to have been in here to see it? I've got all these cameras, right? Boom, right? Boom, boom, boom. Got all these cameras in here. But these are broadcast cameras. These are black magic cameras. These aren't like security cameras or something. But wouldn't it have been interesting to see that on video? The microphone stand, what does it do? Levitate, and then the papers just, I don't know, man. Pretty crazy. It's pretty nuts. All right. That's it. Enough babbling. Let's get this show started. Zenka Caro is with us tonight. We're going to be talking about ET all night long. I've known Zenka for a long time. I'm not even sure how long or when we first met, but we've known each other for a long time. Got a lot of respect for Zenka and her support for this community and her enthusiasm and her passion about this community. It's a fascinating thing to see her work and her attitude about this. Not only technology, but the universe, consciousness, parallel worlds, of course, contact and ET and disclosure, all of that stuff. That is her bliss and her passion. We've got new links up for her. They're in the chat room. And so we've got those up. I'll tell all the moderators to repost those links. And everything is good. She's the founder of LightNet. It's a collective intelligence think tank centered around consciousness And I just said she is a pioneer in all of this mind over matter science and consciousness research. She's really good at what she does. And tonight we're just going to let it fly. I would like to welcome back to Fade to Black, the one and Zenka Caro. She's right there. Thank you. What's going on?
Hey, welcome to the new year of 2026. Levitating objects, bikes, Harleys, open roads.
Let me get you closer. Let me get you closer to that mic. Okay. Now we can hear you. 2026. Before we get started here, isn't it amazing? And I know, have you noticed, Zenka, that every year around December, everybody in this community, including myself, 2027's the year, 2028's the year, 2029's the year, this year's the year. Damn, this is the year. We do it every time. And here we are now in a brand new year, 2026. Anything different for you? Or is this the year?
No, this is the penultimate year, but it depends on for what. So this is the year that, according to Steve Bassett, we will have disclosure, meaning a head of state will announce that we're not alone. However, with the Steven Spielberg film coming out in June called Disclosure, and with the new film Age of Disclosure, and then Ron's movie, Accidental Truth next, we're going to get an awareness that this is the cat's out of the bag. This is an 80-year-old thing. This is what's been, I don't know if you've seen Age of Disclosure, but it's required viewing on Amazon. 34 government officials just saying like, hey, yeah, we have craft. In fact, we fight over them when they fall. And so does China and Russia. Have craft. So this is incredible. This is life on the line. This is them all coming together, 34 of them, just with this grounded, unemotional, like, hey, and by the way, we paid for it, but we have no access to any of the research because it was intentionally put outside of, the public oversight. But anyway, I'm really optimistic about the galactic renaissance. I'm really proud of the movie that they've made, Age of Disclosure. I'm excited Steven Spielberg is going to touch the subject in June with Disclosure. Has a lot of deers in it. So for me, 2027 is where we'll start to have face-to-face interactions, or a few people or one person will have it. Although just there's paradoxes to all this, because probably 70% of us have had lives on other planets. So technically we're looking for ET, we are ETs, like whatever, but basically we're moving into a galactic renaissance. And I'm very optimistic, as I always am, about renaissance. And I think, so this is 2026 is the last year that the everyday person's going to get on board and get curious. We've had 3i Atlas going through Harvard and the science community. And this is a complex subject. It has interdimensional, which is like hilarious because it gets so much more complicated than we ever do. Quantum physics becomes something even more complicated. And that's what they're saying, that this is a dimensional situation. And we're ready for it finally, because there's peace on Earth and we're ready for that. So they can finally be here and people are excited.
Well, if it's dimensional, then why the frig is the narrative pushed, like in a film like Age of Disclosure, of fear?
I didn't think it was fear-based at all. I love the film. Everyone's like complaining that it's fear-based, but this is a very traumatized group of scientists, speakers, authors, people like you, leaders in the community. I love the film. I thought it was grounded. I had my parents look at it. Like I had like people, this is just sort of like, oh yeah, by the way, here's the last 80 years, unemotional, and sort of saying like, where's the data? Can we get it? It's just one perspective. And then you have someone like Ron James from the MUFON media director, who's coming out with his sequel, Age of Disclosure. No, I'm sorry, Accidental Truth next. Like what's next after Disclosure? And he's saying, oh, this is a consciousness phenomenon. But Luna in Congress mentions that, hey, wait a minute, this could be dimensional, and so does Ray Hernandez. It's inconvenient, but there's something there. So it's been leaking through official channels, through the advisor in the White House, that this is this is a dimensional thing. Space and time is a thing of the past. Like, we know how to navigate those. It's kind of like the Contact movie that where she's just sitting there, time stops, she goes somewhere. This is way more complicated than we thought it, but this movie, Age of Disclosure, talks about that. Yeah, Russia has crafts. We have crafts. China has craft. This is 80 years in, because they thought we were going to freak out. It seemed like every US president has wanted disclosure and has asked, and they've said no, because they thought people would freak out. But really, this is us, the collective, asking, after watching, Star Trek and Star Wars, this is asking for us to look up into the galaxy. And as Avi Loeb says, I hope we're not the smartest people on the block. Like, that would be depressing if we're the only ones here. He's like, we're not that smart. So this is our chance to look up instead of across, and really greet a new thing. And this is like, so the new embassy is being approved right now. This is like a 72-year-old project or something like that, or more, 40-year-old, I can't remember. But this is like where there will be physical ETs here beyond dimensions. They're coming to our dimension. There will be here.
What do you mean embassy?
So this is a project. So I just want to frame this conversation of the fact that, okay, first we're going to get this disclosure through cinema, which we just had with Age of Disclosure, available on Amazon. Then we'll have this Steven Spielberg in June with Disclosure. So that'll hit the mass population, global population, with questions. I don't think he shoves any answer down. Nobody really knows what's going on, right? So, and yet we all have bodies, so we can figure it out. But so Spielberg's, and then in 2027 is what I got as some of the first contact. The first contact has already happened. I think it's like either 60 or 16,000 people have already had waking contact that they can remember, not in an astral state, not in a dream, not in a channel state, waking contact, remembering, most of them military based, but not all. So it's really, as I hate to say it, it's a frequency match of relaxation and ambassadorship, because they are coming. So I believe in 2027, a few of them will be here. There is an embassy project that has been nursed along by what some people call a cult, the Raelian.
The Raelian. You're talking about the Raelians.
So there has been a subgroup led of scientists who are holding the story larger outside of the free love, bad reputation that the Raelians got. However, you've got to give them credit. They have the millions raised, and they wanted the embassy to be approved through the United Nations, because the embassies are where you have autonomy in your own country and someone else's country. So I'm in France, I have the US embassy, and I can act with my laws like I'm in the US, but I'm actually in France. So the ETs are going to need an embassy, physical embassy. They are going to need a way to interact with us diplomatically. And we are going to be, Sedona is going to be the light capital of the world as a prototype city. And we'll be interacting directly with ETs, hopefully in some of the, well, I won't say where, but basically you can do contact right now. There's people who've have done that. And it's much more complicated and much more simple than you would imagine.
Now, you can build the embassy at Michael of Sedona's house. That'd be a good stuff.
He's amazing, right?
But what about, why not build the embassy in New York?
It's whatever country has agreed to it. So they have been asking the United Nations to accommodate this, but they wanted to do it officially, because any quack millionaire could be like, oh yeah, build it over here. No, whether you like a Raelian like politics or free love or whatever the situation was.
Free
They
love.
have, I mean, I don't really know the details because I don't do
man.
soap
You know,
opera. I don't
went
do
down,
soap opera.
I went down the Raelian rabbit hole. I think everybody does when you research this. And what I find interesting, I'm going to circle back to something you said in just a second. But here's what's crazy about our community. And I don't talk about this, but this is what and you know this better as well as anybody. But we have so many different groups and subgroups in this community. None of them get along, by the way. None of them get along.
Trauma.
And so you have everything from crazy ass super soldiers to light beings, you have Galactic Federation, the Federation of Light, the Federation of the Pleiades, all the way around to the science side of things, and going out contactees and experiencers, because you can't say abductee. You can't say that. That's not politically correct. You got to say experiencer. And so we've got the experiencers group. We have the physical contact groups. We have the astral projection groups. We have the meditation groups. We have the crystals groups. We have all of that. I mean, it's all right in front, and a different. It doesn't matter, man. Andromeda, Orion. Oh my God, the tall whites, the mantid beings. On and on and on and on and on. And you said it. Nobody knows. Nobody knows. And then when you go bigger than that, and you go into something like, the Raelian cult, which it's a cult, and you jump into that, and that is about the craziest shit you're ever gonna, investigate. It's nuts. It's nuts. It's nuts. It's nuts. It's nuts. It's crazy. And it's weird. I don't want to wear any of those labels. I'll report the news, and when it happens, and we'll cover it on this show. I guarantee it. But it's most people that have come into this community because of TTSA or the Tic Tac, the new researchers that are, on Twitter. It's now called X, but who cares? That are on Twitter, and they're like Bambi drinking cold water from a brook. They're innocent little lambs from the Bible, right? They have no clue at all about this, and valiant Thor, it's, you know what I mean? And we can go on and on with all of this, but the key thing here is what you just said. We don't know. I've had my experiences. You certainly had yours. That doesn't mean I have the answers. And then we have the charlatans out there. I'm not going to mention names, but that absolutely fabricate, coming out of their mouth and make stuff up for clicks and for popularity and to make their mortgage payments, and will just say anything. And they have followers, because people are here. I'm on a soapbox right now. Zenka, you're my guest, but this is something that I'm very passionate about. People are drawn to this community because of very, very personal, deep, emotional reasons. And they're seeking answers, and sometimes somebody's going to say something that resonates with them. That's an untruth, but they're seeking, you know what I mean? They're here for genuine reasons. It's fascinating to me, but you're right though. We don't know. Now I want to circle back. I want to get your point on this. Now it just escaped me. We'll circle back. I just had it. It came and went. I had it.
Were you talking about the embassy? Are you talking about who has the truth?
Yeah, don't worry about it. It'll come back to me. It'll come back, and I'll interrupt you when it does. What got you started in all of this?
I was in LA and I was like, you gotta be kidding me. Like when someone mentioned the ET thing, I'm like, no. I was like, wow, too many of my beliefs have now been like, I didn't even believe in reincarnation. I was in technology. I was like, you got to be kidding me. And then it was sort of like, oh, yeah, we're channeling people from whatever. And you're probably an ET somewhere else. You know, what are starseed? Are you Arctur? You know, are you Andromedan? So it really was this chance for people to dream bigger, to believe that they could do something interesting. And then I got involved with Mark Sims, which is how you and I know, because I also was like, I'd never seen a UFO. And I went up with him in Ojai and I documented the harmonic convergence, which he felt called to do and spent lots of money doing this. Remember, he interviewed people for days and he was getting everybody together to do the CE5s. And when I got up to Ojai, I saw a UFO with Aaron. And then we would be filming. They would turn off the cameras and then UFOs would fill the sky. And I was like, my brain was like,
you mean, hold on.
Me.
Zenka, before Mark Sims, you had no interest in this subject?
No, I
did not know that.
No.
No, I didn't know that. Wow. I thought you had a crazy ass uncle or something, you know, that showed you stuff when you were kids.
My parents, like I mean, this was the height of you are gone crazy. Like I was like, you got to be kidding me. I knew nothing about it.
See, I always looked at you, and tell me if I'm wrong, or maybe that I am flying over the target, but I always looked at you as a tech savant, right? And at the front edge of corporate tech, future tech, and what is going on in Silicon Valley, that had an interest in a contact experience with ET. That's what I saw you as.
That's what I was. I was an augmented reality, worked at Akamai, was a tech leader that was working in augmented reality. And
which is how I met you.
And then how was I getting in touch with, somehow I got in touch with Mark Sims and I got obsessed with Jimmy Blanchett's radio technique and Mark Sims and documenting. And so I documented 2,000 people on how they make contact with ETs. There was everything from dreams. Physical contact was the highest amount. I think it was a third. So people saw UFOs and I saw my first UFOs and I was sort of like, huh.
Yeah, I remember watching your videos with all of you guys up in Ojai. And I was invited up there so many times and I didn't go.
Nasim was there.
Yeah,
Nasim was there. It was all these people. Unify was running it, and there was people really from all over the world that he would just call up, you know, and most of it was remote, but it was a few people were there, and he was, you know, hair on fire, eyes ablazing. He was told to do this, and the harmonic convergence, which was from 1968, was a meditation, a connected meditation for world peace, I believe. And so I was interested in the science because I was studying the science of the Maharishi effect. And I also wanted to understand how contact happened. And so I built data visualization on what we collected, 2,600 contact reports from Mark Sims's harmonic convergence. And it was real people with real contact during that time.
Yeah, I remember all of that. And Mark, I just saw Mark not too long ago. It was good to see him. It was good to see him. I've seen him a couple of times over the last year and a half, and he's just a great guy. But he seemed at the time to be at the right place, not only with his background and the stuff that he was sharing with me. I met him by chance. I was invited to a dinner, and I went, and he was one of the guests at the dinner, and he actually sat across from me at the table, and I didn't know who he was, and I said, so, and you know me, I'm a dick, right? I'm a dick, I admit it, and I go, so, what are you all about? Right? And he gave me his background. And I was like,
Visualization, 3D visualization.
I had no clue. I was man. So what's your story? It's like really fun. Anyway, he was at the right place at the right time, with resources, and he was a really good motivator and drew the right people around him, and it seemed like things were clicking on all cylinders. Not only with Mark, but the community back then was pretty fired up about things. So Mark's a great guy. He's a great guy. Now, I remember what I was going to circle back to. And this is such a key point. It's a non-trivial point. It's a huge point. And you're right. The point that you made was the powers that are running this thing constantly come back with disclosure is going to freak the world out. And my question to you is, what would freak us out? What about it would freak us out?
Well, so this was just bad think tank. This is bad advice that they're getting. And it's that 60% of US people believe in ETs, but that's just the same as believe in God. So they're running these scenarios in their head through the government because presidents have been asking for disclosure, and they were like, oh, I don't think so. Partially because we're in a secret arms race with China and Russia, from what I understand, of hoarding technology plus the free energy. So you know the whole story. It's like, well, we want to make some more money on oil. Let's keep this. Like, remember, if you are complaining about other people still, you're not in unity consciousness. So when you say they, you mean we. When you say so what's happening right now is Congress members want disclosure. The people want disclosure, but this is not about us. For me, I don't want to be a big witch hunt. I want to move on and do fun research and greet them properly and make this about world peace, because there was abductions, there was deals, there was money spent. We would be good if we did have access, but I'm sick of waiting for anyone, because you don't have to, because you have a body, you can do a C5, you can have contact. We're probably ETs. Like, it gets so complicated that they realize they can't handle. I mean, and probably this is all planned anyway, the way they're doing it. The point is that they're coming here in the 3D. This is not going to be, I dreamt of an ET anymore. This is going to be,
no, you're right. You're right about that.
Slowly, the first may come over the oceans in 2027. It's not very threatening. And then later they're going to need land to be around, and the embassy, we're going to need an embassy. There's tons of them, right? So it's not just one race. There's good races and bad races. Like, it's a reflection, as above, so below. So if you want to know what we're like, we can look at them. But most of them are very good. If they wanted to have blown us up, they would have. This is just a cultural renaissance, and we get to be ambassadors. But they're not here to take resources, and they're not here to fry us, and they're not here to take over our brain. We're ready finally they would have already done all those things if they had wanted to do that. So now it's our chance to have world peace, to say hello, to get on ships, to meet them, to talk to them, to eat with them, to trade stuff with them. The trade alone is going to be huge. And it's just a psychological moment. We just grew up.
But what is it that they think would freak the world out?
You're right. Back to that. It's.
I
like
mean, a great answer.
Story.
No, I love that. I loved everything.
Story. It's a past story that no one has filled in the other part of the story. So the story is that Spielberg comes out, he does the disclosure, everybody's ready. And the point is that the diplomats shouldn't even be from the US government. They should be from these citizen organizations that, Celestine Star put together and all these other great people. So literally the diplomacy is in our hands, and it's just going to be really fun. It's just like, this is the beginning of the galactic age. This is the Renaissance. There's cleanup to do, and there's accountability, but no one's going to like the story. And right now, it's now our story. So 2026, it is now proven that the cat's out of the bag, and let's just have fun. And everyone's traumatized in the ET. So don't be picking on them, be sympathetic, because like you said, they're all fight each other because they're all traumatized.
I just recently, when I say this, people always go, how do you have the time to do this? Well, I make time. But I just recently watched the series V, The Visitors, right? With the red V, right? And now I watched it on network television when it came out, but I went back and I just thought, I'm going to revisit this. I remember enjoying it, right, in a different sort of way, 40 years ago, whenever that came out. But I recently just watched it, and I have to say, it's pretty accurate. Not accurate in ET visiting it, but the attitude of the world and the attitude of the networks and the attitude of the government and all of these issues that were put on the table, pretty spot on. And then, of course, the visitors. Look, it's 40 years old, everybody. If I'm spoiling this for you, it's not my fault. That's on you if you haven't watched it. They were here for our water. Yeah, they were stealing our water.
That could be, but they've stopped wars, and they also are smarter than us. So I would, and they might be, there might be some that are evil, some that are good. I don't really know, but whatever. The point is that they
Right.
know a lot more about dimensional travel. They know a lot more about healing. They know a lot more about quantum physics. They know a lot more about math. They know a lot more about music. And we know separate things that they don't know. So this is literally like, oh, hey, compare notes situation as well.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I would like to think that there's something that we could offer, and
we do.
I used to think that. I'm not so sure right now. Not while we're still manufacturing things like bullets. I'm not so sure.
No, it's fine. Everything's
what I
fine.
mean?
We did what we needed to do. It's fine. Like, it's all okay. We're doing really well. Everything's good. We're just growing up, and we're doing more creation in the next 2,000 years than creation destruction. But it's fine. Everything's perfect. We're good to go.
What is it? Let me ask you this. And I'm not in any way trying to be funny or cavalier. Okay. What is it that an advanced race could tell us that we could actually understand? I'm not sure if any of it that we would understand. We may hear the words, but we're talking about would okay, here's an example. Would somebody from 1800 understand Elon Musk? No. And that's 200 years. All right. So 1,000,000 years, 1,000 years advanced, we wouldn't even understand our advanced selves for 1,000 years from now coming back to talk to us. We just, no, we wouldn't. So what is it? What do you think? I have a couple of ideas, by the way. But what is it that you think that we would understand? What could ET tell us that we would understand?
Well, it's what can we understand from them and what can they understand for us, because everyone is unique. So what we understand is emotions. What we understand is the halo. It's like fighting. We're learning how to do lucid. This, I'm going to get way off course. So let's just say that they're watching us go out of the butterfly, you know what I mean? The cocoon of realizing that we're not alone, that we're all one, that we're creator beings, and we're getting our together right now. And it's really beautiful. And we are children of ETs. ETs are not the highest dimensional beings. Angels would be higher than them. Ultra dimensionals would be higher than ETs. So they're one level up. They're galactic. We are ETs. So you're probably one. I'm probably one. A lot of people have had other lives on other planets, which is so. But right now we're looking up. We're in this moment where we're tilting our heads up and we're like, let's go to space. And we can now do that. And we are doing that. And they're also, we've requested that they come here, and they're like, well, we don't want you running around, and please don't shoot us. So I think we're ready not to shoot them. And I think that I know we're not ready not to shoot them. And I know that it's going to be beautiful and fun. I mean, there's some weeping and trauma. There's a why didn't you tell us, daddy, and mommy, whatever kind of situation going on. Like we've had there has been a lot of darkness keeping this a secret. You ask a great question, Jimmy, which is like, why did they think we would freak out? Because that response, like, oh, that's going to happen, caused them to keep this secret in a way that the Age of Disclosure describes it. Like, so anybody that's job changed every 4 years, like a politician, were not told about it naturally, like actually strategically. So they did it within the defense contractors. And then the CIA knew about it in the Air Force, because the Air Force goes and gets them, the remnants. And they said they've basically been sharing technology in a way now. And so the good news is time and space is different. The crazy news is that it also has to do with consciousness, which is like super, we don't know anything about. And the great news is that it's kind of an open slate. So what do we want to happen? Why are they here? Who knows? That's what John Ramirez always said. He's like, the first question we need to answer is, why are they here? I don't know.
Yeah. Well, that's a logical thing to step into, and I agree with that. But that's always the easy way out is why, to get to the why question. When you and when people say, I'm not saying anything about John Ramirez because I do it too. So many people do. When you get stuck in a conversation and you have nowhere to go, then you say why, so you can deflect and then get the answer back at you because you don't know where to go. All right, so yeah, why are they coming here? Well, okay, all right, that's kind of a cop-out. But in my opinion, I think something that we could understand, I'll tell you what we could teach ET too as well. But ET telling us something that we could understand and work towards is this. They would say, it doesn't get any better. You need to just keep your foot on the gas and grow up, because this shitstorm for humanity is going to last for another 1,000,000 years, and there are no rainbows, and that we could understand. Oh, okay, we have to work for it. Nothing's free. You're not coming here to give us the keys to the universe. You're telling us we have to work for it. That we could understand. And this would be my gift to ET that he could understand. I would say, here on Earth, we have coffee. That's what I would do. Even trade. And believe me, coffee's a big deal, right? Coffee's a big deal. And I think that would be an even. Do you remember, trying to think of the since we're talking about movies all night, and I am excited about Spielberg, that the commercial, the trailer, kind of scary when the newscast, the weather person is freaking out, right? Is ET?
He's not going to tell you what to think. Yeah, he's not going to tell you what to think. And this is kind of a scary topic for us. Like, it's our natural thing is to fear the unknown. So I'm not saying it's not going to be fearless, but that's what is needed to get people into the cinema, right?
Yeah. And so, but back to have you seen And if you haven't, watch it tonight. Really cool movie from the 80s called, it was way before you were born. And I don't even know how old you are, but I'm pretty sure this movie came out before you were born. I'm going to circle back to that because I had a weird, crazy thought today about what I just said. Real Men. Have you ever seen that movie?
No.
Okay, it's with Jim Belushi and John Ritter from Three's Company. John Belushi's in the CIA. Jim Belushi is in the CIA. John Ritter is an accidental fool that looks like a CIA agent, and the CIA has made contact with ET, and ET is coming to Earth to give us the secret. Don't know what the secret is, right? And they want to trade a glass of water for the secret. And so they go, it's a comedy, and it's hilarious, and it's so well done. It's called Real Men. Watch it. And at the end of the movie, E.T. comes down, man, flying saucer, man. There's the ambassador, the E.T. ambassador. They come up, he gives the secret, and Ritter gives him the glass of water, in a White House glass, by the way. And he drinks the water. He's like, gets on his ship, and he splits.
I know what the secret is. And that's great. I'm going to watch that. I love Real Men, and I love this idea that all they're looking for is a glass of water. Because once you have a container for a frequency, you can turn it into anything you want. And I love it. So my jar's ready if you guys want to come by my place.
Yeah.
I look forward to hosting you in Sedona, Jimmy.
Yeah, it's going to be great. I love Sedona. So this was my crazy thought today. Time messes with me, and I look at my parents, and I look at people that were older than me. Here's the trippy thought. I was born in 1963. Okay? If I meet somebody, just anybody, doesn't matter, that is 20 years younger than me, they're 42, right? Now, just think about this, all right? Stay with me. They were born after I graduated high school. And that messes with my head. It's only 20 years. What is that? That's nothing. They were born after I graduated high school. How crazy is that? It's like this. Am I that old? Do I feel? Do I act? And because when I was a kid and that same scenario was played out, I was born in 63. 20 years before I was born, it was World War II. Right? Yeah. And now now if we go to present day, 20 years ago was 2005. Does it seem 2005 seems like modern history, doesn't it? Seems like yesterday. We had the internet, we had flat screen TVs, we had, you know what I mean? A modern society, but it was 20 years ago, 2005. And so I started compartmentalizing all of this and breaking it down. And wow. So anyway.
What was going on in 2005? Yeah, because we're going into exponential change. And so this was the big joke in Argentina. They kept talking about 6 months ago, these programs were doing 6 hands and fingers. And now they're like, come Monday, I'm out of a job. And it's so amazing what we're able to create now. So we can run through these different scenarios.
Yeah, it's fascinating to me. It's fascinating. And the other part is, and I think about, I guess, I don't know if I'm being nostalgic. I am nostalgic. I am. I would say that I am. If somebody asked me if I'm nostalgic, I would say yes. But I I think about those giants that came before me, that are friends of, that were friends, that are no longer here. And I'm talking about Jim Marrs or John Anthony West or Stanton Friedman, and so many Lloyd Pye. Eric Von Daniken passed away over the weekend, and somebody that I knew really, really, really well. I mean, I was friends with Eric. He was a good guy, but they are not around to enjoy possibly what is about to happen in these next couple of years. And I'm very happy that I am around. It seems like we're close to something. What makes me angry, Zenka, is it's a fundamental right, I think, of earthlings, of humans, to know about nature. Nature should not be secret. Nature, bumblebees, zebras, trees, dirt. That's nature. Rocks. That's nature. There's nothing secret about that. And there should be nothing secret about life in the universe. That's our fundamental right. Do not hide that from us. And that's the thing that makes me angry. And that's what I will stand on my soapbox about. It's not a geopolitical thing. It's not a security thing. Okay. All right. If you need to keep tech from us, that's fine. But don't keep life in the universe from us. That's not your right to keep from us. It's our right to know it. And that's the way that I feel. And I will fight. I will keep my foot on the neck of the man until I'm a dick. And I'll be a dick about this for a long time. I'm not going to quit. I'm not going to quit. And it seems like we're getting close. You say 2027. I know Bashar's been talking about this, and others. We have the spiritual
Well, it's
side.
already happening. So face-to-face contact's already happening. And that was the most beautiful thing I've ever heard you say, Jimmy.
What did you make of, before we hit the break, what did you make of, Three Eye Atlas? What's your take? What's your take on Three Eye Atlas?
I've heard some crazy things. So it was this thing that allowed different people to have an opinion about something where there was not a lot of public information. So people went through the full, just like you said, the ET community is very diverse. It's scientists, it's dreamers, it's First Nation people, it's tech people, it's anime people, it's kids, it's Star Wars people, it's all these different people, and they have very different beliefs.
My 7 chakra points and my pineal gland, my third. Guess
what I just found out? This is the chakra. You want to know the chakra of 2026?
Give it to me.
Oh my God.
You give it to me. I love this community, man. I love it. When I have some woman come up to me, sometimes it's men, but it's mainly women, come up with their jewelry and a nice little head, some kind of thing and their thing, and they've got a little something here, and they come up and a little nose, a little diamond, pure, come up and just, Jimmy, you want to get activated? I'm like, man, I love this community. I love this community. I'm not, to each his own, but that's one of the things. So what's the chakra for 2026?
So it's a funny entendre. So Viola Rose, who was supposed to travel with us to Colombia, teaches Drembalo Melchizedek's work, who has published a lot and taught all over the world and studied the wisdom traditions of everyone. And so check this out. He said this. I don't know if it's true. He said that the UFO, the thing that you would use for space and time travel, is basically your Merkaba field, which is 2 tetrahedrons that goes like this. It goes like this, and it goes out 50 to 60 feet.
Yeah, that's TEDx stuff.
But wait, so John Ramirez measured him. The CIA has measured his light body from space. Literally from a satellite. So this is not just new age, visualize BS. This is so he said that there's only
John Ramirez.
Check this out. No, this is what Drumville Melchizedek says through Viola Rose, who teaches his class, which I highly recommend to understand this. And this is what the shocker that I'd never heard was that there's over 1,700 different ways to activate your Merkaba field. And there's two races. I'm not going to say their name because it's not about who's who in races, right? But there's some aliens that lost their polarity and have to build spaceships that use the same principles, but that we all have spaceships in our bodies. So you can actually go and do stuff. That's the shocker. That's the like, oh, wow, we know nothing. Let's share notes because that's hilarious. Meaning that we thought we needed this $1 million ticket to go to space when actually you can go to space on a physical rocket using the principles of that you can use. Now, he also said that if you do it wrong, you can blow your whole body out. So he only recommends teaching 2. Now, I know this seems out there, but I'm just saying that how little we know. We're in diapers. We know nothing about consciousness. We know nothing about ETs. We know nothing about anything. And it's going to be fun. And it's time for peace. It's time for 2,000 years of creation. And thank you, Jimmy, for running around and asking everybody what's going on. Because nobody knows, and we're creating it as we speak.
The amount of things that have been witnessed by us for thousands and thousands of years. The Bible is written about ET. I'm not going to get struck by lightning. I'm not worried about that. That's not what I think the Bible is about. Could be about what it's, what believers think it is, but these things have been seen for a very, 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 very long time. This is nothing new, but that doesn't mean because you've seen something, and I've seen daylight, giant physical craft in the sky with my own eyes, but that doesn't mean I have the answers, right? So what that allows me to do and others is try to go and find out what's going on and figure this out. Just because you've seen something and millions and maybe billions of people have, but that doesn't give you the answers. So that's my take.
And if I told you, if I said, Jimmy, I'm giving you a boat ticket to go to China or Japan or something, Taiwan, and I gave someone else a ticket to go to China, you guys would have totally different adventures. That's how big this is. So technically we should be asked, I would love to see us asking ourselves the question of what do we want to happen? What do we want to do? You want to sell coffee to ETs. I love it. Adam Capel used to always talk about selling ice cream to them. Like it's hilarious levels of like growth. It's like, it's like, whoa, I never thought. Now I'm actually in shock, and I've been in this for 7 years. I'm actually in shock. I'm like, is it now? Are you serious? My son's like, you've been telling me forever. And now I'm like, oh my God, we're not ready. We are ready. But I'm just like, I'm in shock that it's now up to the presidential level. This movie, Age of Disclosure, the Congress knows, like, it's not pointing fingers at the Congress. They're on our side. They want the information too, both across the aisle. But what you said, Jimmy, tonight about this is nobody's right to tell you anything about, to prohibit your knowledge of the universe. I think that was profound. That's the long story. And that's like Avi Loeb too. He's like, I hope we're not the only ones here. That would, So the 3-eye atlas, some people said it dropped off water to Mars. Some people said it was, channeled thing. Like Avi's like, oh, this doesn't look like a comet, but who knows what it is? Is NASA holding back information? For me, I didn't have time for it. That's the thing. You either plug into the guessing game of incomplete information, which I refuse to waste my time on, or you go ahead and create the future, which we're living into, which we're doing here in Sedona. We're a galactic capital. We're a light city, and we're going to be talking about all these things like you've been doing. You've been asking these questions, but also the question is, what do we want? We want an embassy. We want places that can come down and meet us. We want to talk with them. We want to trade coffee with them.
Yeah, for sure. Zenka, stay right there. We've got to jump into our commercial break. I am your host, Jimmy Church. Tonight, our guest is Zenka Caro. We're talking ET all night long. All of that and much more. Zenka, stay right there. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. This is Fade to Black. Stay with us. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to get your alerts and access to over 2,000 videos. Click that subscribe button right now. Go to jimmychurchradio.com and get the Fade to Black official podcast. 2,000 episodes, all of them commercial free for just $2 a month. I am hosting, speaking, and presenting Once a Conscious Life Expo, the largest conference of its type in the world. February 20th through the 23rd, 2026 at the LAX Hilton. Speakers, event, and schedule easy. Just visit consciouslifeexpo.com. I will be hosting and speaking at the Sedona Ascension Retreat, March 20th through the 22nd, 2026 in Sedona, Arizona. An amazing list of speakers, and it's beautiful Sedona. Come and hang out with us and just go to SedonaAscensionRetreats.com. I'm heading back to the Midwest for the Contact Modalities Expo, May 1st through the 3rd, 2026, in Delavan, Wisconsin, at the Lake Resort. It is beautiful. This is a great conference right in the heart of the Midwest, where I'm from. I'll see you there. Just go to Contact Modalities Expo, that's XPO.com. I will be hosting and presenting once again at Contact in the Desert. That's May 28th through June 1st, 2026, the largest UFO conference in the world. Come and hang out with us June 23rd through July 1st. Tickets and everything else that you need is at contactinthedesert.com. Want to change your life? Want that paradigm shift? Then visit Peru with Brian Forrester and myself for the Inca Celebration of the Sun, June 23rd through July 1st, 2026. A full 10 days of visiting the country, all of the amazing sights, and of course, the celebration of the winter solstice. It's all simple to do. Go to hiddenincatours.com. Come join us for the Monty Python Scotland Tour, August 1st through the 9th, 2026. This is a once-in-a-lifetime event where you get to go to the castles from Monty Python and the Holy Grail. August 1st through the 9th, 2026. Just visit HaleyARamsey.com. Watch Into the Vortex on Gaia TV. It's Fade to Black for the screen. Simple to do. Go to Gaia.com, search Jimmy Church, or click on the link below. Follow Fade to Black on Twitter at JChurchRadio. Get all of the show updates every single day. It's now called X, but who cares? Go to jimmychurchradio.com and become a Fadernaut. Get a membership. That's right. Everything is commercial free. You have access to downloads, and you get to call yourself a Fadernaut. Jimmy Church, Gaia TV, Fade to Black, here at Machu Picchu with Brian Forrester and Hidden Inca Tours. Amazing tour so far, Brian, but we're here to announce what we're going to do next year in 2026. What's going on?
Okay, November 2026, we're going to have our major tour of Peru and Bolivia. either a pre or post tour of Paracas and Nazca on the coast. And then after that, 6 days in Easter Island.
Bucket list, Easter Island. Come join Brian and I and his amazing team here at Hidden Tours for Peru, Bolivia, and Easter Island. Signing out. Say goodbye, Brian.
Bye, gang.
River Moon Coffee, makers of the Fade to Black blend. Truly the best coffee on planet Earth. Just visit rivermoonwellness.com or their Amazon store. It's all simple to do. You can check out the Fade to Black blend, the Game Changer blend, or any of their Black Moon Wellness products. It's the only coffee I drink. It is the best, and it's Doc. Again, rivermoonwellness.com. Welcome back. Fade to Black. I am your host, Jimmy Church. Tonight, Zenka Caro is with us. We're talking ET tonight. Like I said, top to bottom, back and forth, hither and thither, to and fro, far and near. It's a great conversation, and I want to jump straight back into it. Zenka, here's the thing. I want your opinion on this. We have the world, and Eric Von Daniken just passed away this weekend and left this great earth, left this beautiful blue gem. And I hope he's got all his questions answered right now. He's a deeply religious man too, as well. But he did a lot to change things on a global scale. Chariots of the Gods, the first movie that was played on an airplane, right, on Lufthansa. That's crazy. The success of Chariots of the Gods and all the other books, and of course Ancient Aliens, and his influence is there, and the interest of the world is there about ET. But I would guess that most of the planet doesn't they want to know if there's life out there, but it's not going to change their lives necessarily. And are they driving to work every day thinking about this? Our community does. I do. I think about it every day. But the rest of the world in general, are they living in our bubble? They are not. And so with disclosure, what will that bring to the world? How will the world change because of it?
Yeah, you bring up a couple interesting points, but I wanted to double click on the fact that you called that you brought up that movie Chariot of the Gods, because the Hebrew word for Merkabah, there's also an Egyptian word, means chariot of the gods. So remember, everything we're looking for is consciousness. So you make a good point about what's next in all of this. And do people really care? And there's a lot of people that are looking at us going, oh, well, that rocket is worth like 5 billion, or the hydrogen collider is worth trillion. Like, did you know that I don't even know where my next meal is coming from? And I think they're right. That has to be looked at. And I think that this changes everything. So, of course, we're using computers now to making organic food easier to get to. We thought we were feeding the world, and then sometimes it got into like this overproduction situation where we were producing food that was not that great. So right now, I would say what's in it for everyone? What's in it for everyone is the future, the galactic future. This is a before and after. You'll always remember the moment that you realize this. Number two, we're moving away from the material world into the consciousness world, knowing that whatever we are requesting as a group is going to be printed out into our reality. We're requesting ET contact. People are requesting that experience. We're going to have it. And how we do it is how we do everything. How you do one thing is how you do everything. So it's a time to realize we're not in a dualistic world. We're all one. We can all be compassionate toward each other. This has been a long haul. It's been a lot of work. It's been a lot of healing. It's been a lot of exhaustion. You have been towing the line, so it's just like, take a deep breath. Let's see what we want. And I think what it's in it for everyone is the galactic age. What does that look like for all of us when our needs are met and when we're creating instead of destroying? Like, world peace is there, done. Today I started my first day called Tuesday. It's a war on war, but it's basically Martes, because in Spanish, the word is Martes, which is Mars. So Tuesdays is Mars. And my friends in the Dream Machine in Argentina decided to declare it a day that we did whatever we want. So today was the very first day that we did it. And we just got closer to whatever we wanted to do. And I think that galactic represents hope, because it's a new slate. Like, we can do anything, and we can do anything.
We can. The thing that I say a lot, and I'm almost reticent to say it anymore, is that I do whatever I want every single day. I don't do anything that I don't want to do. I am blessed to be in that kind of position. I've worked really hard. I'm 62, and I've finally gotten to this point where I do whatever I want all day long. Okay. But the majority of this planet does not. And me saying that when I know that there are children digging through garbage dumps for their next meal on this planet, and me going up to one of those children saying, hey man, but our galactic brothers and sisters, and disclosure is coming. They're going, what the fuck are you talking about? I need to dig through this rotten trash to survive. That's what I'm focused on. And that's the part with me where I know it's a lot of empathy and some other things come out of that. But that's what we need to focus on. Yes, but what I'm saying is, when ET gets here, I don't want them to see that stuff. I don't want them. I'm embarrassed that we have allowed that kind of thing to go on this planet. I'm embarrassed. They need to get what, they need to come and go, and we're able to look at this place. Look what we have built. Isn't this amazing? We can't do that right now. How can we do that? Right. Tonight we're going to be bombing Iran again after this show.
No,
you know what I mean?
That's not happening. Is that really happening?
Oh
no.
But my point is, I'm embarrassed about that. ET shows up, and there's a lot of good things about this world. Man, we got friggin' Las Vegas, damn it.
I was just going to tell you, Jimmy, have you seen, we do have something to be proud of, and it's in that movie, in the new Sphere. They show the dervishes like dancing. They show all these temples around the world. It is like, we did this. Can you believe that?
Yeah, I don't know if you've done this, but I swam with the dolphins once, right? I swam with dolphins. Have you done that?
I have not.
Okay. That's a game changer, man. So anyway, I'm holding this dolphin. This dolphin is looking right into my eyeballs, right? Just looking at me. And I'm rubbing her belly, and she wouldn't leave me alone. I'm swimming, and she's just waiting. So much. Anyway, I'm going through this thinking, this is what it's all about, right here. Why can't the planet be like this? And it's not. And we have everything, all the resource. We have everything to fix this planet, and we just don't do it. We can't get out of our own way. It doesn't make any, if I had $1 billion, I know I sound like I'm on a soapbox tonight, but sometimes I get wound up. That $1 billion lottery or whatever, 1.6 billion or whatever it was last month, I went and bought a bunch of numbers, and I came home and I sat privately and I said to the universe, I will give it all away. I will give it all away. I will give it all away. Right? I didn't win. But billionaires, how much money is enough? How much money is enough? Well, you get to a certain point, man, take the rest, man, go help somebody with it. Not a foundation. Go and spend the money, man. Go and take care. We have the ability to, and we don't. And that's why I'm embarrassed if ET shows up right now. What is here? We have so much good, and we have a lot of stuff that's bad, and it's just embarrassing. It's like having bad breath. They're going to show up, and we haven't taken a breath mint.
I think a project just got born, Jimmy. So let's spend on paper $1 billion for the ET cleanup fund. And you and I and everyone else in the world will just say how we would spend $1 billion, make sure everyone has food, to your point, because you never know where they're going to land. And so, yeah, exactly. What else could we do? And yeah, all the coffee, all the different conferences we're going to invite them to. How would we do this differently? And I think you're right. We can do better, and so easily, because all the technology's here to do all this stuff, to make sure people have drinking water, to feed everyone. It's just a matter of collaborating, putting our heads together, and it's not that hard. That's like 5 years, 3 years away. I don't know. I feel like maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah,
we
can't control. Well, we can't control ET, and what their plans are. You know, it's out of our control. But what we do have is we have a lab example of us. What are we doing? We're looking for life on other planets. We're looking for life. We have the James Webb. We can look in atmospheres. We can find exoplanets. We are looking. We're out. Well, ET's doing the same thing, right? They're doing the exact same thing. And if we do get to the point where we can, visit an exoplanet, are the inhabitants of that planet looking for a savior? What is the message that we would take to that planet? What is it that we would say? Well, we really have to look at ourselves. Are we the best representatives of ourselves with great intentions to go and speak with intelligence to it? And right now, no. Well, yeah, you be
send
great.
Me.
But you know what I mean? Are we really? Are we right? Have we earned that responsibility to speak with intelligence? No, not even close. We're not even close to that. But hopefully ET will have evolved and has moved on. My question, what would I'll tell you what my question, what would you've got one crack at ET. You've got just one. Don't give me two. Don't give me three. Don't give me a part one and a part two. One question to ET. What is it?
We had this list that we were asking people. And the one question that some people said was similar to your one answer is like, you've been on a long trip. What can I get you? My question to them is, how do we stay connected?
How so?
I've had contact, and I want physical sustained contact that can be one day and then the next day. So my first question is, we're connected. How can I talk to you again? And I think this is the beginning of a long conversation. Yeah, they're not our saviors. You make a great point, Jimmy. They're not here to save us. They're here to allow us to grow up the way we were supposed to grow up, which is to find our passion, to find our purpose, to have fun, to shine bright, to fade to white, to fade to light.
Fade to light. Nice play, kid. Nice play. My question to ET would be, how did you do it? How did you survive? How did you overcome killing each other? How did you survive? That give me some advice, right? How did you guys do it? I don't care about tech. I don't care about nuclear fusion. I don't care about cures for cancer or pollution or food. Nah, we can get to that. That's logistics. But how do we save ourselves? How do we live to the future? Right now, it could end tomorrow, right? Every single day, right? Every single day that we get to is luck that we haven't blown ourselves up yet, right? Okay, that's where we are right now. So how do we get past this? What's your advice? And that's what I would ask him.
Okay, I'll tell you the advice from the center of the world, the Mamos. A lot of indigenous cultures have connections to what they call star people or ETs. And the Mamos of Colombia are in the heart of the world. And I said, what went wrong with us? And they said, look, there's these things that are like this, and they're holes. And the universe is full of them. And when you guys start creating, skyscrapers and whatever, you're creating an energetic debt. And you're always wanting more and more and more, not realizing that the universe is made of holes and it's part of it. So the day that we lose greed, that is the day that we stop fighting wars. All wars are money wars. And right now, it's going to be more fun to create than fight because there's so much fun stuff going to happen, Jimmy. We're ready. So we're going to basically talk about you are a living example. If people can spend just their Tuesdays doing what they love, you're doing it 7 days a week. Congratulations. I was looking at your schedule. You're going to be with Adam Curry. You're going to be in LA. You're going to be in Sedona. You're going to be in England. You are living the dream life, full of questions, full of adventures. You're not worried if the world is getting better or worse. Of course it's getting better. Your life is better. Your life is amazing. To be 7 days a week. Congratulations, Jimmy. And yeah, the ET thing changes every single question from the bottom up, backwards, sideways, in, out, like you said. It changes everything. How are we going to show up?
Well, okay. Okay.
Oh, that's just some turquoise alert. Yeah, so calming the nervous system is important, right?
Yeah. So my take on that is this. Like I'm some shaman with infinite wisdom. But this is how the world would change with disclosure. You have two scenarios. And if we are alone in the universe, let's say that happens, right? Okay, so there is no life out there. Well, then there's no reason to be good. Let's just party. There's no reason to do it. Let's just party. Let's just burn this thing down. That's if we are told that, if we are alone, all hope for the future is removed. So that's it. Why pay taxes? Let's just party. Okay? Let's have a good time. That's it. Let's race cars, whatever, Or scenario number 2. We are told we are not alone. That fundamentally changes all the borders, we now are earthlings. We are one without divide. It doesn't happen that way anymore. Now we have a reason to keep this planet correct and to grow as a species, because eventually we are going to make friends with our brothers and sisters in the universe. And that gives us a direction to go in. Right now we're directionless. And if we are told that we are alone in the universe, we'll remain directionless. You know, and that's how I think the world would fundamentally change.
That's brilliant, Jimmy. That is totally brilliant. Love it. We'd have at least somewhere to go, and I think that's like when you start talking about traveling to outer space, we're talking about space hotels. We're talking about going to different planets. We're talking about time travel. We're talking about avatars. We're talking about oxygen. We're talking about hotels in space. We're talking about everyday people traveling to space. We're talking about all of it, and it's going to be amazing because you're right. Suddenly, it's going to be more fun to create than destroy. And we're going to realize, like you said, we're not alone. And it gets really fun from now on, in my humble opinion. But this idea that we have to destroy everything in order to start the next loop, like, oh, from war must be born peace. No, peace is now. We're declaring peace. There doesn't have to be a war with ETs. There doesn't have to be any war, this Iran thing, Venezuela, all of it. There's no need for it. And we're the 99% that can make world peace just already. It's done. I mean, let's just move on. Now I'm on a soapbox, Jimmy. So get me started.
But here's I think is the point with all of that. In what I have learned is once I started to shift my worldview and my inner view, the way that I look at myself, if everybody, so I lead by example. I do the things that I say that I do. I help people. I help people with their careers. I help people I help strangers constantly. You know what I did at the store over the weekend? Now, I'm not, please, everybody, do not say right on, Jimmy. Just do what I do. I'm standing at the self-checkout at the supermarket. Okay? Next to me is a mother and daughter right here at the self-checkout. And I hear the speaker going, "Your card is not accepted. Your card is not accepted." She's reaching for another one. I look down. She's got a bowl of fruit, 2 bottles of yogurt, drinkable yogurt, and a half a sandwich. That's what's sitting there. And it was $19, $16. And she's ring. I said, I heard it like 4 times. I go, "Stop. I'll take care of it. Just grab your stuff." What? I said, just grab. The lady working for the supermarket who was here, who I know, right? And she's standing here, manager, and she's watching what's going on. I just walked up and I went, bing. I said, "Bag your stuff. Just go. It's all. You want to take the receipt? Take the receipt." Now, that's what you do. That's what makes me happy. That's doing whatever I want to do all day long. You know what I mean? And if the world just thought more, not exactly like I do, because I do fucked up things every day too as well. I'm not a saint and I enjoy being a criminal once in a while. But the point is this: I'm not thinking about invading another country. I'm not thinking about somebody's religion. I'm not thinking about somebody's sexual orientations. I'm not thinking about black or white or race or color. That stuff doesn't concern me. I don't think about it. We all need to think like that. That's it. Let people live their own lives. You know, it's none of our business. And I don't want anybody getting into my business, right? You follow me? So what are we doing getting into somebody else's business? And that's my take. Just be kind. That's all. Just be kind. Now that person who I helped with her daughter, I felt for the mom. She's got her daughter there, right? And all she's doing is buying fruit and yogurt for her child. And that's, you know, I don't want it. I've been in that position before, and I know what that's like. Just go take care of it. Let her go and enjoy her day, right? And just quit tripping on this. And that's what I do. And I think all of us could benefit from that. What's $16? Well, to some people, it's a lot of money. To most of us, it's not. And if an opportunity like that presents itself, go and do it. It's a wonderful gift to have happen.
That you did a pay it forward. That's so cool. You paid it forward. You gave. That's so cool.
Is that what it's called? Is that what it's called?
Well, I don't know. I've had a guy buy my line, everybody in the whole Starbucks line. I've witnessed that twice, and I've been
what's that? Oh, that was a movie. Was that
no,
a movie?
no? I've experienced
pay it
that.
forward. Pay it forward. Was
Well,
that a
that's
movie?
the idea, is that you're not getting anything out of it. She's the one getting, the mom is the one getting the fruit. So the only thing you're doing is just saying like, hey, this shouldn't be happening. I'm going to take responsibility. 16 is not that much. And you're right. Like, that's how this all happens, is that, and it's also like, I just want to reiterate this point. Like, if you have people in your life that you hate, you're in duality technically, meaning that you're creating war. If everyone in your life is not getting along, it's because you're sad or mad about something that you're not coming to terms with. So it's time to come together throughout every, light hands, like, what do they say? It's light work with many hands, or some many hands makes light work, is what it is. And so like you're saying, it's like, let's just notice what's around and chip in, because it's really not that hard. We've got so many smart people. We've got so many wealthy people, and we could write this $1 billion budget out, and I'm sure there's a billionaire that would fund it, because it's common sense.
I don't know why it happens. There's got to be, I don't know what it's like. I don't, because I'm not in the private jet billionaire world. I'm not. I'm close, but I'm not. And here's the thing with that. Everybody comes out of the womb the same. We're all equal, right? So as something happens, and I'll just use Elon Musk as an example. I don't know what his background is, but he wasn't born with $250 billion in the bank. He wasn't. What was his attitude like when he was 5 about the world? And where does it fundamentally change when you get into that stratosphere of money where you don't give a shit about anybody else? What happens? More. I want more, but I'm not going to do anything with it. I'm only focused on self. What happened? Is there
Well, you're
secret
talking
school they go to? You know what I mean? The Illuminati pulls you in. Okay, man. So this is how it. I don't know, man. I don't know, but I don't think that we're born that way, and something fundamentally changes.
Well, I mean, you're actually talking about the people on the yachts that haven't thrown in the $14. I think that Elon, whether he's with the Illuminati or not, is up for grabs, but he's certainly not in it for the yacht ride. And I think that's what, Steve Jobs' wife did, and all these billionaires or millionaires said, we're going to spend it while we're still alive. Because now's where to put, like you said, it's like now's like pedal to the metal. Let's pour rocket fuel on the things we want and care about. And so right now, the world's sick of war. We're not buying into this prophecy that all has to end in order to begin. Like, we can land the plane. Like, this is just take a load off. Those people who've been running things can go on the yacht and take a break, and we'll step in and, like you said, see what needs to be done. I mean, I have full faith in us because of the internet, because people want a new story, and because the ETs are coming, because ET is coming. It's a fresh look. It's a fresh day. It's like, And it's humor, it's fun, it's different, it's new. It's going to, like, let's make this fun, not a witch hunt, not a soap opera. Let's just go have fun. And it is going to be amazing. We're going to go to hotels that are going to be off planet in the belt, of gravitational pull. And we're going to do it in VR too, like, who cares whether it's our real bodies.
When I was a kid, God, man, I just sound so old when I say this shit. But when I was a kid, all of these things that you just said were promised to us.
Like flying cars.
Well, yeah, as an example, for sure. But in between 1963, 1962, and 1969, 5 years, man. 6 years, we went from nothing in the space program to landing on the moon. In that short little period from 2020 to 2026, okay? From 2020, we build a rocket. 2026, we land on the moon, all right? We haven't been back. But back in 1970, we were promised hotels in space. We were promised a moon base on the moon. And all of this seemed achievable because we had done everything else, right? It was like, oh man, this is going to be great, man. We're going to have a Holiday Inn. We're going to go up and with the family and we're going to do we were promised all of those things. And here we are. Now think about this. That was 55 years ago. 55 years ago. And
someone got greedy with the yacht. That's what happened. But it's okay.
It's okay. When I was watching a couple of weeks ago, I was watching a documentary on the Monaco Grand Prix. All right. And which is a great race. And, I'm into cars and stuff. And I'm watching it. But it was really weird for me. I'm watching it and they keep talking about, the billionaires that live there and Monaco and what it represents and things. And they always show the harbor there with all those yachts, hundreds of these yachts that are 200 foot, right? Ginormous. But to pull it out of its dock costs like $50,000. Right. Just and you've got 20, 30 full-time crew members that live on the boat all year long. You're paying for that. So this is where my mind goes, Zenka. I look at that and I go, that harbor, right? That marina could fix the world's problems, but they don't. They'd rather spend $500 million on a yacht and staff it. I'm sorry, that's just where my mind is. I'm not like, hey, good for them, man. Look at that. That's amazing. That's so cool. I don't look at it that way. I look at a bunch of selfish, greedy, solid gold toilets, and whatever else is going on instead of fixing the world's problems. And they could do that and probably still own that boat.
And go to outer space. We could trade them a ticket to outer space. Or they could be the, dinner with ETs, and then they could just add that budget on too. So we get ready for the ETs and we'd solve world hunger.
Zenka, would you go? Would you go? You brought this up earlier. I'm going to throw this in.
I'll go.
Wait, you haven't heard the question yet.
I'll go anywhere.
Would you go to Mars?
Other planets? Yes.
You would go to Mars.
Well, it depends on when, because right now it's kind of sketch and not that fun.
No, it's a one-way ticket.
Right. I did do a piece for the Los Angeles Museum of Modern Art where I said, what would you take to Mars if it was a one-way trip? And I was going to take nail polish, my carving tools, music and books. Well, music and books is you could take every music books, that's unlimited communication device. So you really just have these like things. So I wanted a ceramic thing, carver. And then something for special occasions, and that's all I forget. I think that was the main thing I put.
I would take pizza, pizza, Haagen-Dazs, Mexican Coke, and some really good weed.
There you go.
I don't even smoke pot, but
bring a matter printer. Bring a matter printer that could do all that. So it's print. Not one and done, because otherwise you'll have that one pizza and then that's over. And you'll probably be in cryogenics to get there. I don't really know how far it is literally, but it's going to be fun on Mars. But it will be not that fun at first. Not that fun at first.
No, not that fun at first. Not that fun at first. I forget the series on Apple TV about colonizing Mars, and it was really good. 2 different factions, 2 different towns were built, and they're fighting over this and that. But they find water. That was pretty good. But I always think of the Matt Damon movie, The Martian. Remember, all he wanted to do was grow potatoes so he could eat, right?
I haven't seen that movie, and I haven't seen a lot of these things because in my house it was prohibited to watch television.
What cult did you grow up in?
I know. I was only Sesame Street and and the Muppet Show, and that was it. And then I never had a TV. But anyway, that's so cool because those stories are what we're going to live into, right?
You didn't answer my question. What cult? So
no, my parents were just normal. They were just normal. They were just like, they were just normal. They weren't religious at all. And they were just like, hey, we're not going to sit there for like, they were like, this is like, whatever, let's move on. But basically, I think there's a lot of possibilities of what's going to happen. How we're going to drink coffee with ETs is a big question, because that is an actual question.
It should be. It should be. Well, okay, and I'll tell you why. And this is with contact with ET. We have to. There's a thing that we do on this planet, and it's called getting together and hanging out. It's a ceremony. So whether it's drinking coffee or you're doing this, or but you get together, you have conversation and chain smoke cigarettes and sit and just talk, and there's a ceremony behind getting that we do, whether it's food is behind it or whatever it is, but there's a ceremony, and ET needs to experience that ceremony. They you know what I mean, that what humans do, and we've been sitting around the campfire since the dawn of man doing exactly this. And you're right, sitting and drinking coffee with ET and going through that ceremony of that, some really good Italian espresso with a little mini cup, and teaching ET how to, showing ET what a French press is. Man, that's elegant.
Yeah.
I'm down with that. I'm down with that. Oh man,
it's so good. It's so good. Yeah. Elite Cafe, your Black Moon Cafe. Yeah, like this is not that many years away. So we're talking about this probably in 28 or 29, 30. Yeah.
I wonder how this question comes to you. I wonder how the skeptical physicist is going to deal with that. That has been, ET's never been here, man. They can't get here. They can't drop it. No. Everybody's hallucinating. It's all bullshit. Stop with that. Don't you know how big the universe is? Don't you understand? I'm so tired of that dribble. But ET shows up. What does Neil deGrasse Tyson have to say for himself at that point? What does Brian Greene have to say for himself at that point? Sean Carroll, these very, very brilliant minds that I have a lot of respect for, but their response, are they gonna flip? You know, are they going to change their tune, or will it be enough for them to change their tune? What do you think?
So they're part of the tune. Their curiosity from their point of view is a reason why we're here as well. And it doesn't really matter because we outgrow duality and we outgrow stories that don't make sense anymore. So if someone was telling a story about good ITs, bad ITs, forward, back, whatever, future, past, we're outgrowing everything because there's so many possibilities, and we're going to live the one that we want to live, in the sense that the physics community are in a pickle because material physics doesn't work with quantum physics, and nobody knows how psychotic to deliver these PhDs because they don't agree. Material physics, Newtonian physics doesn't compute with quantum physics.
No, it doesn't.
And so now even the layman physicists, which we all think we are because we have an Instagram account, are starting to look into this stuff and realizing that quantum is where time and space is not distance-based at all. And state changes can happen. So we're starting to realize that we're not alone, that we're not, and that we are one, which is hilarious. So we're not alone and we're one. That's hilarious. And it's time to work together to do fun things like clean up for ET to come and do all these fun things. And quantum physics allows for us to heal ourselves more quickly. It's not like 8 years you're going to heal from cancer. It's like, oh, you can do it tomorrow. There's all these different things that change when we start to look at collapsing realities, the observer effect, quantum physics, leaping forward, quantum, like literally state changes. UFOs, I mean, they explain in the Age of Disclosure how UFOs work. And how they isolate themselves.
They don't know. There's no, there's no film. There's nobody. There's no expert on this planet that knows that any of that is fact. That's bullshit.
They do know. No, they do know because they reverse. We have physical crafts, though. That's the thing.
Zenka, I'm not debating you. But let me just say this. If you know somebody's name and face, like in the Age of Disclosure, if you know somebody's name and face, they don't know shit. The people that know, you don't know who they are. Period.
So true. So true, Jimmy.
Period.
So
anybody
true.
That's going on camera going, okay, man, so this is how it is. This is what's going on. Dude, you don't know. You don't know.
Right.
You don't know. You are lying. And now I don't have anything against elevating the subject, which the film has done. It's caused discussion. But there's no expert in that. There's nobody in that. If you know their name and their face, they don't know shit. It's a fact. And okay, so let's back up for a second on this physics thing. Okay, I'm going to piss everybody off, but it's my job.
I do it all the time.
Yeah, and you're good. You're good, but you've got a great smile. See, you've got a great smile with great teeth. You can get away with shit. But here's the thing, Zenka. Physics and quantum physics, string theory, quantum physics, all of that is a belief system, the same as religion, Jesus, Bigfoot, and UFOs. It's a belief system. Everything is built on faith in quantum, and let me tell you why. Here's an example. This is a belief system. You take a pin, you put it in the middle of a football field on the 50-yard line, a pin, a push pin, you put it in the middle, and they will tell you that is the nucleus of an atom. And then the outside of the football field is everything that is orbiting that nucleus. Now, wait a minute here. How do you know that? How do you know that? Have you seen it? No. It's the numbers. Oh, so it's a belief system. You believe string theory, and listen to somebody explain string theory, like Brian Green. Let him explain. Okay, all right. The tiniest of the tiny. How tiny is the tiniest of tiny? Well, that would be the strings in string theory. All right. Well, you haven't seen it. It's math. It's math that is telling you this, but it's a belief system. It's no different than ghosts. It's no different than Bigfoot. It's no different than anything else that is involved, or religion, or Jesus. That is quantum physics. So, well, Jimmy, the math. No, dude, have you seen it? Have you seen it? Have you photographed it? Have you imaged it? Have you run a video? No, you have not. It's all in your head, and it's a belief system. That's it, man. That's it. It's crazy. It's crazy. But they want to talk like, pragmatic black and white, and they've got everything, understood, and they're pushing for the end. You haven't seen it. You haven't seen it.
Well, this was it. Yeah, so this is a brilliant, this is the third brilliant thing you said tonight, which is that it's all about belief. I do believe that it has been filmed and captured and solidified, but I do believe that that's what I've been discovering and during our research, that if you believe it, you will experience that reality. So someone said to me,
that's different, Zenka.
Not really, because if you go higher order than the ET question, if you go just to reality in general, forget the ETs, we have to look at the collapsing the wave and the observer effect. So at some level, we're starting to take responsibility for what wave we collapsed and saying, is this how we wanted to do it? And we've got 24 hours every day to wake up and go, oh, here we go. And so you got to get to the highest conversation you can possibly have. Back to your question earlier, which was, can we even have an intelligent conversation with an ET, or are they talking down to us so bad because our brains can't even understand anything? And I think you're right. We know nothing. We're babies. We're like, oh my gosh. And we know consciousness has to do with reality in general. So of course it's going to have to do with ETs too. And so that has to be considered, as is everything's being considered. And the truth is that the yachts are invited. We're all invited right now. And the outcome is up to you. It's up to what wave you collapse in this moment in 2026. What are you feeding? Which wolf are you feeding? What conversations are you in? What are you creating? What are you uplifting? What are you paying $14 for? And you're right. And so you and other people are sowing the dream that we can all live into, which is really comes down to curiosity and consciousness.
You're right, though. That's the key. I think that is the key of and the hard sciences of the world, all of them have to move on. The physical stuff and the laboratory setting and what science is and those rules behind science, we need all of that. I'm not dismissing or poo-pooing that, but what is above and beyond all of that is what's between our ears, our consciousness. And that's the key to the universe. That's key to everything else. When I say, can you see it? Right? And it's a belief system. You know what we can see? We can see the stars. We can see the universe. We can see the galaxy. We can see. Those are things we can see and we can measure and we can quantify. Absolutely, with all of that. Now, what drives that? I think consciousness is fundamental. It's first. Consciousness is non-local, and science needs to catch up with that, because right now science says that consciousness is local and it's a chemical creation from our brains, and that's not the case. It's the opposite of that. So if we're going to go we're going to take those big steps as a human race, exactly what you're saying. And I agree with you. Consciousness is key. It's what's first. And once science understands that, then we start to grow up as a species.
Yeah, and what do we want to be doing? What do you want to be doing? Like, I really want to go back to that. Like, you want to sell coffee to ETs. There's things I want to do. I want to travel. I want to understand. I want to see what their fashion is like. And again, that seems like it's bringing it into the everyday. And that's what's happening. A lot of things that we thought was true, it's going to be very disorienting to have things that you thought were true told you that it's not true.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
And this has to do with everything. You can use a med bed to cure yourself of like something in 3 days. Like, all this stuff is becoming it's so we don't have to feel defrauded by it. It's just that we're ready for this curiosity. And I love how humble and you are about it. It was like saying, okay, and they say that we are badasses in our own right. So we don't have to act like the stupidest kid at the table. We're not. We're actually emotional. We're warriors. We made it through. We're ready for the bigger conversation. We're ready for oneness. We're ready for non-duality. We're ready for the 2,000 years of peace. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with all of that. And you would think, if you go back 1,000 years, 500 years, and you look at where we are now, we got a lot of convenient things now. A car, being able to drive across the country and visit your relatives. Think about that 200 years ago. That was voodoo black magic. That was crazy town. And where we are now with manufacturing and knowledge and the sharing of knowledge, and the technology that has gifted us so many wonderful things, including ice cream, right? And Chicago deep dish pizza, but that we would have moved on, right? That we would have evolved. But what do we, look at Gaza, look what happened there, what's going on in Ukraine. Right now, as we speak, there are families, there are parents, mothers and fathers, listening to bombs explode around their children throughout the night, in the dark, without electricity in the middle of winter. And so it's like we've done all of these great things, but yet we still have that. And you would think that with all of these wonderful tools that we've given ourselves, penicillin, antibiotics, right? 100 years ago, you got a toothache. You know what happened? You died. That's what happened. You died in like 3 days, right? You know what I mean? And so we've given ourselves all of these opportunities to evolve, and we just can't get out of our own way. And I agree with you, though. We're growing up, and we're getting closer to the point where we need to get away with all of that stuff. We just need to walk away from it. And we're close, though. And I think that we're close. I really do. We're tired. We're tired of it, man. We're tired of war, tired of killing, tired of bullets, tired of angst and negativity. We're just tired, man. It's exhausting to deal with that all day long.
Yeah, and this is an inside job. So we dump that in our own lives, it'll print out differently.
If you look back at somebody like, and we're at the end of the show, but if you go back to I'll go back to ancient Egypt, and you look at Akhenaten. Akhenaten was a hippie. He was a pharaoh, but he was a hippie. He was no different than what was going on in Woodstock and Haight-Ashbury in 1969. He was a hippie. He was all about peace and love and freedom and artistic freedom and all. That was 3,500 years ago. 3,500 years ago. And here we are with everything, and we're still doing the same shit. Still doing the same shit. It's really funny. Where can everybody chase you down and follow all of your work? And I know you guys do a lot of stuff, and you've got a bunch of really cool people in the collective that are mutual friends in our community. It's really great what you are doing. Where can everybody go and follow all of that and get involved?
Yeah, so right now we're doing impossible to possible coaching twice a month at our lightnet.org. This is where you can do whatever you want, freedom to get that Harley like you are doing, to do the Tuesday every day of the week, to live whatever you want to live in that sense, to collapse whatever waves you're doing it. And so it's impossible to possible coaching. That's what we're doing right now. And yeah, so follow us on Instagram, Zenka Caro, or our lightnet.org, and we'll see you there. This is going to be a great year.
Yeah, fantastic. I'll see you next month out there in Sedona.
I can't wait.
It's gonna be a lot of fun. You always take care of me when I'm out there.
I will. Come on over.
Do you remember?
Yes.
We went to that 5-story mansion.
Oh yeah, that was so
in the basement.
Fun.
Remember that?
That was so fun.
And
I remember that entire conversation.
Man, and I walked in and there you were. It's like, Zenka, okay, it's going to be all right. Zenka's here. It's going to be all right. But
we talked about app ports. Do you remember?
I do.
We talked about app ports. Yeah, and there'll be parties when you get here for you. That will be exactly.
You know, I remember 2 things about that night. First one was you and I doing Jell-O shots. I remember that. but and I'd never done it before. But the owner of this house, I don't want to get into it, but he's the CEO of a pot company or something.
Is he?
I don't know. I didn't know him, but
okay.
The house was incredible, right? It was a lot of fun. So I meet him, and he takes me on a tour, and he goes, "Hey, man, I follow you on Twitter." I go, "You know who I am?" He goes, "Dude, I love your shit, man." And he shows me on Twitter. He's like, "Look, I follow you." And he was a big Fade to Black guy, and all of that, but it was just a chance meeting. But that was a wonderful night with you there in Sedona, and I will be back to hang out with you in, geez, man, like 6 weeks. I'll be there. I can't wait.
For Suzanne's Ascension Retreat here in Sedona. So yeah, check out the link that Jimmy's sending you, because that's going to be amazing. That is going to be, Bashar, Daryl is coming, Alan's helping to pull that together. There's a lot of ET disclosure stuff in there. This is going to be a great year. I can't wait. I can't wait to see you. We're going to have a great time.
You're the best, Zenka. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Have a great night.
You too. Just another great conversation. And I look forward to hanging out with you and breaking bread once again out there in Sedona. Thank you so much.
Let's do it. Thank you, Jimmy.
You're the best. Zenka Caro, everybody. Her links are below. We've got them up in the chat. We've got them on our website and throughout social media. All right. What am I doing tomorrow night? Does anybody know? Before I get out of here, let's see. What is happening tomorrow night? Marissa Greco is here tomorrow night. And Hidden Energy Coach, she's wonderful, and it's going to be a great conversation tonight. So I'll see everybody tomorrow. Thank you so much, Zenka. Thank you, Fadernauts. Thank you, everybody. It's time for me to get out of here, so you know the deal. For now, all I've got is go backly tappy. Fade to Black is produced by Hilton J. Palm, Renee Newman, and Michelle Freed. Special thanks to Bill, John, Dex, Jessica, Dennis, and Kevin. Webmaster is Drew the Geek. Music by Doug Aldrich. Intro, Space Boy. Fade to Black is produced by KJCR for the Game Changer Network. This broadcast is owned and copyrighted 2024 by Fade to Black and the Game Changer Network, Inc. It cannot be rebroadcast, downloaded, copied, or used anywhere in the known universe without written permission from Fade to Black or the Game Changer Network. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. Go backly tappy.